Hi, my name is Finley Carrier. I want to know, why does it thunder and lightning?
Great question, Finley. All right, so how do thunderstorms form? What is thunder and lightning? Well, what happens is when warm air and cold air meet up, they don't like each other. So the warm air is forced to rise and go up, and it actually forms these huge clouds. We call these cumulonimbus clouds. And as the warm air is forced to go up, it condenses and it forms these large clouds. Now, as all of the water molecules and these little water drops are moving around a lot, they're bumping into each other, and they actually make static friction, and that forms the lightning. Now, lightning and thunder are actually the same thing. Thunder is just the sound that lightning makes, but usually we see it at different times because the light travels faster than the sound of the thunder. So thunder and lightning, actually the same thing. So really, thunderstorms form when you have warm air and cold air meeting up. Thanks for your question, and if any of your children have questions, send them our way.
I'm Adriana. When I love rainbows. What causes them?
Thank you, Adriana, for such a great question. You mean what makes rainbows besides crayons, of course. You need two things in the sky for a rainbow, and that's why we don't get rainbows every single day. You need the sunshine in one part of the sky and falling rain in the other part of the sky. And when the sunshine goes through those raindrops, you get that spectacle of color in the sky with a certain order to the colors that makes that rainbow. And sometimes it'll arc across just a certain portion of the sky. As you can see in this photo, it can sometimes go all the way across the sky. Now, raindrops come in all shapes and sizes. I know they make them in the teardrop shape in books and movies, but they can be little circles or even little flat pancake type shapes. And because of that, the sunlight can bounce twice inside that raindrop and create what is a secondary rainbow. That, of course, means 2 pots of gold. Thank you, Adriana, for the question.
How do you know how close the storm is to your house?
That's a great question, Mila. Thank you for sending it in. You're talking about thunderstorms, and if we can tell how far away they are from us. Well, we actually look for the lightning. That's the first thing you do. When you see that flash, then you want to start counting the seconds in between, the time between you see the lightning and then hear the thunder. Once you hear that rumble of thunder, divide the number by 5. So for example, if you go 5 seconds, that equals 1 mile distance between you and where that lightning struck. Keep in mind, light travels faster than sound, so that's why there's a little bit of a difference. But really, the lightning and the thunder are happening at the exact same time. It's dangerous, of course, as soon as you hear that thunder, so you want to get inside. If your children have any weather questions, you can send them to us. storyideas@wmur.com.
Hello, New Hampshire. My name is Adeline Durazo, and I want to know how thunderstorms happen.
Adeline, that is a great question. How do thunderstorms happen? Much like baking a cake, it has a lot of different ingredients to it. It is a mixture of hot and cold air, like we're seeing here on radar. You'll also need a lot of humidity to create a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of moisture in the air. And at the same time, you need a lot of wind, not only at the ground, but in between where the ground is and the top of that thunderstorm. And sometimes that wind has to change direction or speed in different layers of the atmosphere. So it is like baking a cake with a lot of different ingredients. Thunderstorms give us a lot of different things. It gives us heavy rain and flooding, hail, lightning, wind, and sometimes even a tornado. So they are complex and they are difficult to search out on radar and sometimes difficult to predict exactly where they're going to happen. Thank you very much, Adeline, for the great question.
Hi, my name is Caleb Carenti. I have 2 questions for WMUR. 1. Why do hurricanes spin counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere? 2. Why do tornadoes cause so much damage?
Well, thank you, Caleb. These are excellent questions. So first, I want to get to your question about hurricanes and why they spin counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. Well, really any low pressure system that we have, nor'easters, tropical storms, hurricanes, they all spin in the counterclockwise direction. The reason for this is something called the Coriolis effect. It's a phenomenon that causes fluids like water and air to curve as they travel across the Earth's surface because the Earth is spinning. So that's why here in the northern hemisphere, we have low pressure systems and hurricanes that spin in the counterclockwise motion. Now, as far as tornadoes, why are they so strong and why do they cause so much damage? It's all because of wind. That's all a tornado really is. In this funnel here, these are strong winds, and you can see the EF rating here, the enhanced Fujita scale, going all the way up to over 200 miles per hour. So those strong winds are what cause damage.